Golf News RI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast. I'm Golf News RI co-founder Joe Calabro. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday night. Sorry a few minutes late, but we are here. And so it's time for another episode. Lots to get to. Rich isn't with us today. He's partying down in Florida. But I have to say, I might be having more fun than he is this week. It's been quite a week for news around the game of golf. So let's get into it. Thanks to everybody for joining in early on. Caitlin Allen, Bridget White, and whoever else. So thank you all. Also, welcome to any new Instagram followers. We're not live on Instagram, but I did do a preview, and hopefully they switched over to Facebook to hang out with us. I picked up a bunch of new followers today at the pilgrimage down in Plymouth Country Club. Anyway, more on that to come, but certainly lots to get to today. The big news of the week was course rankings came out. Golf Digest did their annual or biannual course rankings of the 100 best courses in America, and surprisingly, or somewhat surprisingly, there were no Rhode Island courses that made the list. Newport, Wannamoisett, and Shelter Harbor. By the way, that's Newport Country Club. Just to be clear, they all made the top 200, which isn't really all that exciting. And it's better than not making it at all, I guess. But they all made the top 200, not the top 100. I was definitely surprised. So I thought at least Newport would get in there. They usually made these things. They made the golf.com rankings. I think it was back in November as number 84. So I thought for sure Newport was going to get in there, but they didn't. So they made the top 200. They are the highest ranked Rhode Island course in the top 200 at, I believe it's 137, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. So it was interesting. That caused some controversy. People were kind of mad about that, especially since Newport is hosting the 2024 U.S. Senior Open, which we reported, and among the first to report that was happening. So some angst about that, but definitely disappointing for those clubs. So that was the big news that happened earlier this week. Again, those rankings, you can find them on our website. We actually did two articles, one saying that there was no courses in the top 100. The other one, obviously, we followed up with that they made the top 200. So, again, people were happy that they made the top 200. Like I said, it's better than not making it at all, but not really what you're looking for. It's kind of like finishing second place. It's not really what you're looking for. So that was the big news of the day. So if people want to weigh in on that, you can. The other thing that we watched this week was the qualifying sessions or qualifying tournaments for some of the major tournaments coming up. Yesterday, we had the U.S. Women's Open qualifying at the Dedham Country and Polo Club in Massachusetts. There were 3 Rhode Islanders that were playing in it. Allison Paik, a girl, Susie Kavanaugh, and Alexis Florio. Another Rhode Islander withdrew from the tournament. None of those 3 made the cut. I mean, they only took 2 spots, and there were 2 alternates, so it was going to be tough to make it anyways. And obviously yesterday, you guys all saw the weather. It was miserable, rain, all kinds of other crap going on. So none of them made the cut, but they made valiant efforts. The Rhode Island contingent was led by Allison Paik and Susie Kavanaugh, who both posted 82 in the first round and 73. Well, Paik shot 76-79. Excuse me, I misread my notes. Allison Paik shot 76-79. It was a 36-hole tournament. They played the 36 on the same day. So Paik shot 76-79. Kavanaugh shot 82 in the first round, and then she had a heck of a bounce back in the second round, shooting 73. So she, wasn't enough, but at least she ended on a good note. So that's what happened yesterday. I think they finished tied, actually. I think it's tied for 15th, I think. So congrats to them. It was a good run. And, hey, they're at least trying to qualify. The 2 players who made the cut, in case you were curious, and we put this in the article, was former LPGA professional Christina Kim. You may remember her. I believe she's a major champion from back years ago. She she's reduced to qualifying now for the U.S. Open, but she made the cut. And Canada's Naomi Pare. I hope I pronounced her name right. I probably didn't, but oh well. So congrats to them. There were two alternates. Both of them were from Germany. So congrats to all of them. So again, a tough cut to make for sure, but at least there was a couple of Islanders in it. A couple of Islanders were also playing in the U.S. Men's Open qualifying earlier this week, and they didn't make it either. John Baldwin and John Pannone, as we reported. So tough week trying to qualify, but at least these players are in there, and they certainly all did better than I would do. That's for sure. So that is the qualifying story. Thanks to my mom for watching, and everybody else for tuning in. Again, just me tonight. Rich is in Florida. So that kind of recaps some of the news of the week. We'll get to some of the PGA Tour stuff. There was actually a huge PGA Tour story this week, which is the one thing I dropped the ball on, but we were so busy with everything else going on that I didn't even get to it. So we can get to it tonight. We'll get to that later on. If you want to talk about Phil Mickelson leading the Wells Fargo Championship after round one, that's pretty impressive. Not a Phil fan, but it's kind of softened on him over the last couple of years as he becomes relevant on the PGA Tour, except for this week. So we can get to that in a few minutes as well. The one thing I wanted to talk about today, my mother says she likes the studio idea. Yes, if you are wondering where I am, and it looks different than my house or Rich's house or wherever, I'm actually in a studio. That's right. This is our debut show in the studio. So we figured we're trying it out, testing some things, and see where it goes. Pat Ford and I have talked extensively about using the studio and seeing what we can do with it. Perhaps putting some offices in here, or not offices, but desks anyway, and see what happens. So lots of ideas with that. We'll see what happens with it. Nothing imminent, but we're certainly in the planning stages of seeing what we can do, something different than just sitting at home all day and doing the show from home, which not there's anything wrong with that. Just better, it's more cool to be in the studio. More cool. Is that even a word? Does that even make sense? Anyway, today, as some of you may know, probably a lot of people know because we did a lot of social media with it. Today I was at Plymouth Country Club as part of this pilgrimage invitational from our friends, the Cape Cod Golf Guys. The Cape Cod Golf Guys, if you follow them, they do an incredible job on Instagram, and Facebook. Their Instagram following is bigger than their Facebook following. Our Facebook following is bigger than our Instagram following, so go figure. But they hosted this tournament for golf creators and golf innovators. It was an amazing experience. It met a lot of people that are in the business or starting their own business, or trying to anyway. Everyone's at different stages, and hopefully there'll be some collaboration with that with us going forward. But talked to a lot of people today. It was really inspiring to see all these people in their ideas. Most of them, all of them were good. A lot of them are already off and running. Obviously, and like I said, everyone was in different places with what they're doing. So that was really cool. Plymouth Country Club was very hard, if you're curious. The wind was crazy. Even here, the last few rounds I've played here, the wind was insane. So this wind stuff needs to go away. It's getting kind of annoying. So hopefully the warmer weather will come and more consistently, and the wind will die down. But Plymouth was tough. It's a great course, though. I did a course review on it. I just posted that a couple of hours ago-ish or so. So be sure to check that out, and also make sure to follow us on Instagram if you're not already, because we added a bunch of people today. So that was awfully exciting. Earlier, also, in case you missed it, I did it on Zoom earlier this week. I did it on Tuesday. We had a great interview with Peter May, the longtime Boston sports writer, legendary Boston sports writer, about his book, The Open Question. It was a fascinating conversation. We were on for about 45 minutes or so Tuesday afternoon. talking about it. So be sure to check that out. I might be splitting it up into segments for the weekend, but the whole interview is there on our website, and is also obviously you can scroll through our Facebook page and do it that way as well. So be sure to check that out. Again, the open question comes out May 12th. We're promoting it. He tapped us, Golf News RI, to promote the book for him locally anyway, and we are having a book signing on May 29th at King's Crossing from 4 to 5 p.m. And then, as I mentioned several times during the show on Tuesday, I'm going to put that all in articles, and so you'll have it all there. You don't have to necessarily remember the dates. So that is some of the stuff that we have going on. High school golf. It's been a great week of high school golf. Earlier this week, I think Monday, we had our first high school feature match, which was East Greenwich and Hendricken. East Greenwich beat them by 2 shots. 2 teams that are favored to win the state championship, or among the favorites to win the state championship anyway. So that was a huge success. Us covering high school golf so far has been a huge success. And I wasn't really sure what was going to happen with it. But, I mean, it's been a huge success. So we're going to try to keep going. The coaches have been pretty good about sending in scores and doing other things. So that is where we are with that. So, yeah, so and people have questions or comments or whatever, feel free to chime in. On the PGA Tour today, obviously, as some of you may know, or maybe you watched, Phil Mickelson actually holds a 2-shot lead. I'm not even sure when the last time Phil Mickelson has led a PGA Tour tournament. It's been a while. Mostly over the last couple of years, he's been missing cuts and going home early. And today he has a 2-shot lead up only the first round. I understand. So at the Wells Fargo Championship, behind him is K.H. Lee and New England native Keegan Bradley. Keegan has been right in the mix over the last few weeks or so, it seems like, and he can't get over the hump. Last week he had that huge error that ended up basically costing him the tournament. So we'll see if he can get over the hump. He's 2 shots back. I wrote down he's 4 under. He's actually 5 under because Phil is 7 under. So probably should have paid more attention on that. So we'll see. I'm not a Phil Mickelson fan, as many of you know. Growing up being a diehard Tiger Woods fan, you kind of either rooted for Tiger or you rooted for Phil. You couldn't really root for both of them. Over the last couple of years, though, I will say that I have softened my stance on Phil, mostly because he's getting old. They're both getting old. So now I kind of root for him. I think it'd be a great story. And nowadays in the media, I basically root for the story and not necessarily the result, because that's what gets you clicks or page views. And so hopefully he wins. It'd be an amazing story if he did. I don't have much faith that he's going to win. I don't know if he can keep up the pace, but we'll see. Pat Ford is sitting across from me and laughing at me, so that's always good. My mom wants to know what I shot today in golf. So today's format wasn't a regular 18-hole event. It was 6 holes, best ball. So I had a partner. They just paired me up with a Plymouth Country Club member, which was helpful if I could have made a shot. So it wasn't regular 18 holes. It was 6 holes, best ball. So everyone plays their own ball and you take the lowest score. 6 holes scramble, 2-man scramble, which sounds like it would be easy. It's actually a lot harder than you might think. I'm not used to wearing headphones. That's a new thing. It's just studio stuff. And then it was 6 holes shamble. A shamble is you each hit drives, you pick the best drive, then you play your own ball in from there. So it wasn't a regular 18-hole round. We did not finish in last place, just for the record. We finished in 4th to last place out of, I think there were 20-something teams, something like that. So we'll see. Joel Bissett wants to go back to the Phil Mickelson question, or the Phil Mickelson topic, which we talked about a little bit. Like I said, he's leading the Wells Fargo Championship. If he wins the Wells Fargo, will he qualify for the U.S. Open? Yes. I believe if he wins, he will qualify. It's interesting you bring that up, Joel, because, by the way, it was nice to see you randomly last night at Laura's Bar and Grill. Anyway, if he wins the Wells Fargo, I believe he gets into the U.S. Open. It's interesting because he's previously said that he's not sure he's going to accept an exemption. The U.S. Open offered to let him play as on an exemption. Obviously, he's never won the U.S. Open. It's the one major he needs to complete the career Grand Slam. No offense to any Philip fans, but he's probably not going to win the U.S. Open anytime soon if he hasn't won it already. Obviously, he's had a couple of famous chokes in the U.S. Open, most notably in 2006 at Winged Foot. But anyway, that's beside the point. My Phil Mickelson hatred was coming out there for a second. Yes, so it'll be interesting to see if he wins. Well, I don't know if he's going to win this week. He has a 2-shot lead. Obviously, he looked great today. But yes, if he wins, he'll get into the U.S. Open. It'll be interesting to see if he ends up accepting the exemption, even if he doesn't win this week. So, that was a big story this week. I think ESPN, actually it reported last week. But anyway, so yes, a lot riding on this week for Phil. Certainly, like I mentioned, it'd be a great story if he wins. Just like it'd be a great story if Lee Westwood wins, or if anybody else wins one of these big tournaments. So that is what we have going on there. What was I talking about before this? Oh, I was talking about my day today at Plymouth Country Club. I wrote a course review for it. The place was founded in 1910, which is unbelievable. And it's a Donald Ross course. And as I wrote, unlike Metacomet, they've actually put money into renovating their clubhouse and obviously they made multiple changes of the course, since 1910, obviously, just like everybody has. But unlike Metacomet, they've actually renovated their clubhouse. They're still, according to the members that I talked to there today, they're still making more changes or scheduled to make more changes. Not anything major, just little tweaks and things to keep it up. But that's a Donald Ross course, and it's still going. The one thing that I found fascinating, which I didn't even know, and maybe this is a thing. Apparently, because I was, how when you're playing, you get yardages, and you say, okay, this is 150 flag, 140 front, or whatever it is, and that's how you know what to hit. The one thing I didn't know, and I learned today, was that Ross courses, they don't have front, middle, back. They don't have those distances. They basically have two yardages. They have front and back. There's no middle, and they basically split the greens in two. And I thought I just never knew that. So I don't know if that was common knowledge or anything. I just never realized that. Like apparently, Wannamoisa does that as well, and I'm assuming other Ross courses do that, where there's not really like a middle. There's not like a middle pen. It's either front or back. So anyway, I just found that fascinating. Again, that could be old news, and maybe I'm just not up on my Donald Ross history, but I just never knew that. And when the kid I was playing with today, who's been a member there since like forever, when he told me that, I was like, oh, really? And I started thinking about different courses, and he said Wannamoisa has that, and others as well. So anyway, I said that was interesting. But yeah, I played Plymouth Country Club today, and the other amazing thing was that you're an important course when you have a club historian. I thought that was pretty unbelievable as well. I don't know too many courses, at least around here, that have club historians. But that's when you've been around for a while. So anyway, that was my day today. Read the course review. Check out some of the pictures. I did a whole slideshow with it. They have this really cool clock that was there that I took a picture of. I thought it was neat, like an old school-ish kind of clock. And so that is what we did today. And then the other big PGA Tour story that I wanted to get to, this is the only thing I dropped the ball on this week, because it was actually a huge story, and I probably should have put something up. I just ran out of capacity between the craziness of Tuesday and everything else going on. The other big PGA Tour story was earlier this week. it was reported that the Telegram reported, not the Worcester Telegram, the Telegram overseas, I think in England, they reported that the PGL, the Premier Golf League, I guess now they're calling it the Super Golf League. I guess they changed their name. They want it to be more like the Super League. It was the John Henry tried to start in soccer over in England. So anyway, I guess they changed it to the Super Golf League. But either way, the Super Golf League, the Premier Golf League, they reportedly offered big name players like Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka as much as $30 million to jump from the PGA Tour to their tour. Their tour, for those who aren't familiar, this Premier Golf League or Super, again, whatever you call it, whatever they're calling themselves, they're like a global thing. And one of the negatives that's coming out about it has been that players don't get to make their own schedules. It's kind of like a strict schedule of tournaments. Now, it's currently on the PGA Tour, obviously. Players can play whatever they want, basically. They make their own schedule, do what they want. And so the PGL doesn't have that, which is one big negative. Now, every player has come out against it, just about, except for Phil Mickelson. Mickelson didn't completely trash it. He's actually thought it would be an interesting idea, obviously, but he did mention the schedule thing, and there would be some negatives to it. But now PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan has said that there will be punishment for any players that jump tours, and also the big thing, which I think is the biggest thing, is that the Masters, the USGA, the PGA of America, and the European Tour have all recently, just this week, come out in support of the PGA Tour and in support of the PGA Tour's stance. So if you do have players that jump tours, and I'm sure there'll be a couple, I don't know if there'll be big names or players that anybody would really care for. I'm not really sure. It hasn't been reported yet. They just said that they've made offers to Johnson and Koepka. But if you do have players that jump the tour and go to the Super Golf League, it feels like they're not going to be able to play in any of the majors with all these organizations rallying in support of the PGA Tour. Now, I guess technically they could try to qualify on their own, right? I mean, they could go play a qualifier for the U.S. Open or something like that, I would think. It's supposed to be an open. It means it's open. That's the idea. But I'm not really sure. So that was really fascinating. And also keep in mind, and we did put an article up on this, Eamon Lynch of Golf Week first reported it last week or two. Again, I lose track of these. But anyway, that the PGA Tour has been paying top players bonuses for guys that move the needle, up to $40 million for guys like, Rory and Justin Thomas, or probably Koepka, Johnson, whoever, guys that move the needle positively for the PGA Tour, who attract views, who are active on social media, and all kinds of other things. So, and that was thought to be in response to the Super Golf League. So the PGA Tour is definitely worried about it. It was a topic all week this week in the press room, and like I mentioned, just about everybody has come out against it. Rory McIlroy called it a money grab. Other players have said it's not going to work. Other players have said they're not playing for the money, which is basically what the only thing that PGL is offering is money. They're paying. These players are playing for fame, for legacy, for winning, for the history of these tournaments. It's obviously all these majors and the players, his championship, are all historic things. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The Super League, supposedly, they've set a date of September 2022 to launch their first tournaments. Again, we'll see what happens. Nothing's come out of it as far as players committing yet. I'm not sure if there are any or will be any. Super League says they're launching in September of 2022, or at least their tournaments are launching in September of 2022. So we'll see what happens with that. But that was a big story all week on the PGA Tour. And like I mentioned, the PGA Tour is worried about it because they are paying players extra for their social media activities and to move to, like the language they use, move the needle. So that was the big story on the PGA Tour. Again, Phil Mickelson in the lead over at the Wells Fargo Championship after one round. Locally, we have tournament season starting up this week at Kirkbride Country Club, my place. So really excited for that. So that'll be Saturday. Valley Country Club, I just saw on Facebook. They recently announced that they're going to have live music there. I think the band is the Reminder. So if you wanted to go check out some live music is returning. Enough with the live streams and stuff. Even though some of them have been great, it's time to get back out and hopefully golf courses like they did last year. I said I didn't do anything, but hopefully the golf courses can help out a little bit with that. But Valley's having live music. Triggs is having a big ABCD tournament on the 15th, so be sure to check that out. We'll have as many articles as we can on these things. Hopefully tomorrow, if not for Saturday for sure. But lots going on locally. Hopefully the weather is getting nicer, and like I mentioned, hopefully this wind goes away because it's awfully annoying. So that is kind of the week in local golf. Hopefully everyone is having a great week. Hopefully everyone got to play this week. I know yesterday was miserable. Today was nice other than the wind, but the wind also could have been because I was in Plymouth and the course was about like a mile from the ocean. So that probably was part of it for sure. But yeah, so anything people want to talk about, that's what we have going on. In other news, like I said, the book signing for Peter May is May 29th. And if you have a chance, go check out my interview with him from Tuesday. We did it on Zoom. We did it like early afternoon. And it was really fascinating discussion about Ben Hogan, about Bobby Jones, and about that time period. It's really, I got an advance, no, not obviously, but I got an advanced copy of the book, like a real media person. And I was able to read it. Joel Bassett says, any news on Tiger? Nope, no news on Tiger that I have heard. He's recovering. There was a picture of him that surfaced like a couple weeks ago that like a Friday night, and I just put it up, and it took care of my page views for the for the rest of the weekend, basically. So anyway, no news on Tiger. He's recovering. Ricky Fowler had a comment today that he actually watched some of the Masters with Tiger at his house, and he said Tiger still has that fire. So like I've been saying, I think I've been consistent. Maybe I haven't been, but he's going to come back. He's going to try to, or at least try to come back. Now, he's going to win. Who the hell knows? But he's going to at least try to come back and play and see what he can do. So you can count on that. But no news on Tiger. He's just there. He did open his new par 3 course, the Hay, over at Pebble Beach. So that seems cool. I never played Pebble Beach before. It's on the bucket list. My dad has, but I haven't. So it would be something cool to go and check out. Actually, one of the kids I played with today, one of the kids I played with today, he actually played Tiger's golf course in New Mexico. It was Tiger's first course that he created. I think it's called Diamante. I'm pretty certain. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think that's right. And he said that it was extremely difficult. He said everything was like driver 4-iron, basically. So he said it was really hard. But he said the par 3 course down there is really nice. So go figure. But no news on that. So what else do we have coming up? Thanks to everybody for subscribing to our e-blast in the morning. We're up to just over 200 subscribers. A lot of it has come from the high school golf stuff. A lot of it's come from recent connections. So thanks to everybody for subscribing. Again, you subscribe for free. There's no charge or anything like that. You just put your email in, or if you want, message me your email. I can just put it in. It literally takes 2 seconds. So it's not a big deal at all. May 17th, I almost forgot. May 17th, we have Michael Callahan's tournament for his son, Chase for a Cure. That's at Valley Country Club. And Rich and I are both playing in that. Assuming he doesn't just decide to stay down in Florida. You never know. So we're really, really excited for that. Hopefully everyone's playing. Hopefully everyone was able to contribute to help Michael Callahan and his son out. And that's what we have coming up on May 17th. And that's kind of all we got. We're continuing to put out great content, trying to do new and innovative things. Again, like I said today, meeting these people, it was really inspiring to meet so many people launching their own companies and products and merchandise. We do have some merchandise available. We have some hats, and we'll try to do some more of that. I'm still working on how exactly to do it. It's not that easy. So that's kind of what we have going on for the coming weeks and days. Obviously, we're going to continue to have updates on all the tournaments locally. They're coming now fast and furious. Obviously, this week we just had the U.S. Men's Open and U.S. Women's Open qualifying. Last week was the 4-ball qualifying. And next up, I believe, is the mid-amateur qualifying, at least as far as national events. And that mid-amateur qualifying is at Wannamoisa. And actually, I'm actually wrong. I didn't put this in the article, and I completely forgot about it. There's actually a second men's qualifying event for the U.S. Open, which we'll obviously cover. And I'm expecting a lot of Rhode Islanders to be there or playing it because it's at a nearby course, Ledgemont, May 11th at Ledgemont, just over the line in, I think it's Seekonk. They are having a qualifying on May 11th at Ledgemont. So I'm expecting a lot of Islanders to play in that one, and we'll obviously have that covered for you. Might not actually be there to cover. So busy times in Rhode Island golf. For sure, obviously golf. Yes, Ledgemont is in Seekonk. I was right. Sorry, I had to look that up quick before I look like an idiot. And so that is what we have going on. So busy times in Rhode Island golf. Obviously, we continue to have high school golf coverage. The state championship is coming up. We mentioned before the men's state championship is at Cranston Country Club, and the women are playing at Warwick Country Club. Also, a big tournament we have coming up on the high school level is the Bishop Hendricken Invitational. That's at Warwick, and they're inviting all the top teams. So EG might not play. LaSalle's playing. They're trying to get a team from Connecticut to play, who's like one of the top high school teams in the country. They have kids that qualify for the amateur and also the U.S. amateur, and all that other stuff. So that is kind of the story with that. So we'll have all that covered. And then obviously the bigger tournaments are coming. Our amateur qualifying starts, I think, later this month with their first tournament. Then they go into June. The amateur is obviously the second week in July over at Kirkbride, and we're obviously super excited. My mom asked, "Are you covering it?" I'm covering everything. Not sure what. Covering everything. So yes. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. So, anyways, yeah. So that's what we got. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Ending a few minutes early here, and hopefully everyone sticks with us for the rest of the week. Lots going on. Should be a busy weekend, hopefully, and that's all we got. So I will talk to you all this weekend. We'll be back with the Golf Dudes podcast, fully loaded next week with all kinds of things coming up, and updates, and maybe some videos and all of this other stuff. So we will talk to you then. I hope everyone has a great Thursday night. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Hopefully, if you're out there playing, hopefully you play well. And if you don't, oh well. That's it. That's all I got. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. And we will talk to you all later.